Today I wish to speak with you about a force that shapes every thought, emotion, and action you experience. A force vast, mysterious, and largely unseen. I speak of the subconscious mind. Modern man imagines himself rational and in control, yet most of what moves him lies beneath the surface of awareness. It is like an immense ocean, while consciousness is but a small island of light floating upon it. Everything we are, our instincts, dreams, fears, and desires, arises from this hidden depth. So let us explore, what is the subconscious mind? How does it influence our daily life? And how can we come into dialogue with this unseen partner within us? Part 1, the hidden depths of the psyche. When I speak of the subconscious, I refer not to a mere storage of forgotten memories, but to a living, creative realm, the unconscious psyche that surrounds and permeates our conscious ego. It is older than reason, older than language, older even than our species. Every instinct, every symbol, every sudden intuition arises from there. You do not invent these things, you discover them. You do not control the subconscious, you cooperate with it. Ask yourself, what if your waking life is only half of who you are? What if the other half, silent and unseen, guides you more than you know? To know yourself truly, you must learn to speak with this inner world. Part 2, the ego and the subconscious. Imagine your consciousness as a small circle of light, surrounded by vast darkness. The light is what you know about yourself, your name, your role, your thoughts. The darkness is everything you are, but do not yet know. This darkness is not evil, it is simply unknown. The ego resists this darkness because it threatens its illusion of control. Yet the more the ego denies it, the stronger it becomes. The subconscious mind influences your choices, your moods, even your relationships. You meet someone and feel instant attraction or fear. You call it chemistry, but it is your subconscious recognizing an archetype. Pause for a moment and reflect. How often do you feel guided by something you cannot explain? Do you trust that guidance, or do you dismiss it as imagination? The subconscious is not irrational, it is suprarational. It knows through images, emotions, and symbols, not logic. Part 3, the language of symbols. The subconscious mind does not speak English, or any human tongue. It speaks in symbols, images that arise spontaneously in dreams, fantasies, and even art. Every dream you have is a letter from your subconscious to your conscious self. When you dream of water, it is not merely water. It is emotion, the flow of psychic energy. When you dream of falling, it may mean the ego losing control to the deeper self. When you dream of a house, you dream of your own psyche, each room a part of your inner world. Ask yourself, what images repeat in my dreams? What symbols return again and again? There lies the voice of your subconscious, whispering its truth. If you learn to listen, these images become teachers, guiding you toward wholeness. Part 4, the shadow within. One of the most powerful regions of the subconscious is what I call the shadow, the collection of qualities and emotions that your conscious self rejects or denies. Whatever you refuse to acknowledge in yourself does not disappear. It simply moves into the dark and gains power there. The angry person who believes himself peaceful, the jealous person who prides herself on purity, the fearful person who hides behind logic, all are haunted by their own shadow. To face it is frightening, but necessary. The power of the subconscious becomes destructive only when we refuse to meet it. So ask yourself honestly, what traits in others irritate me the most? Could these be reflections of something unlived in myself? By bringing these aspects into awareness, you reclaim lost energy. The subconscious is no longer an enemy, but an ally. Part 5, the creative power of the subconscious. The subconscious is not only the seat of instinct, it is also the source of creativity. All great art, invention, and insight arise from it. The conscious mind prepares the ground, studies, organizes, gathers material. But the spark, the leap, the revelation comes from below. Think of the scientist who dreams of the structure of a molecule, or the poet who hears a line before writing it down. In that moment, the subconscious speaks. Have you ever solved a problem not by thinking, but by relaxing, by stepping away, and suddenly knowing the answer? That is the subconscious at work, uniting fragments into a new whole. To awaken this power, you must cultivate a relationship with stillness. Silence is the door through which the subconscious enters. Part 6. The subconscious in everyday life. Though it seems mysterious, the subconscious is active in the most ordinary moments. When you form habits, it is the subconscious that learns them. When you drive a car without thinking, that is subconscious intelligence guiding you. When you react to a situation before you can reason, that is its instinctual power. But this same power can enslave you if left unconscious. Repeated fears, sabotaged goals, emotional triggers, all are patterns rooted in the subconscious. Ask yourself, what patterns in my life repeat again and again, despite my intentions? What emotions visit me without invitation? By observing these patterns without judgment, you begin to make the unconscious conscious. And that, as I have often said, is the very definition of enlightenment. Part 7. Working with the subconscious. You cannot command the subconscious, but you can influence it through imagination, emotion, and repetition. When you hold a clear image with feeling, not as wishful thinking, but as living reality, the subconscious begins to shape your outer life accordingly. This is not magic, it is psychology. The subconscious does not distinguish between inner image and outer fact. It responds to the emotional truth of the image. If you fill your mind with images of failure, fear, and rejection, the subconscious will mirror them. If you nurture visions of courage, integrity, and love, the same law applies. So I ask you, what inner images are you feeding your mind each day? Are they worthy of the power that sustains them? What you imagine, you become. Part 8. Dreams as the mirror of the subconscious. Every night, when consciousness sleeps, the subconscious speaks. Dreams are the theater of the psyche, where the unconscious presents its truths in symbolic form. Keep a small notebook beside your bed. When you wake, write what you remember, even fragments. Over time, patterns emerge. You will see which themes your subconscious is wrestling with: power, love, fear, growth. In this way, you begin a dialogue with the unseen mind. Do not analyze too quickly. Listen first. The subconscious, like a child, speaks best when it feels heard. Part 9. The subconscious and the collective. Beyond your personal subconscious lies a deeper layer, the collective unconscious, the shared reservoir of human experience. This is where the great archetypes live: the hero, the mother, the wise old man, the trickster, the shadow. These figures appear in myths, in religions, in art, and also in your dreams. When you connect to them, you touch a power larger than yourself. At such moments, creativity becomes revelation. You feel guided, inspired, or even called. That is not fantasy. It is the collective subconscious working through you. Ask yourself, which archetypes seem to live in me? The warrior, the healer, the seeker. How do they influence my life and choices? By recognizing these patterns, you participate consciously in the unfolding story of humanity. Part 10. Healing through the subconscious. Many psychological and even physical ailments originate in the subconscious. In conflicts or traumas the mind has buried. These hidden wounds continue to express themselves through anxiety, tension, or illness until they are acknowledged. Healing begins when the conscious mind turns toward the subconscious with compassion, not condemnation. By allowing repressed emotions to surface, you free the energy trapped within them. So I ask you gently, what have I refused to feel? What memory have I pushed away because it hurt too much? The subconscious does not forget, but it will forgive once you are ready to face it. This is the true work of transformation, to integrate, not to erase. Part 11. The subconscious and the self. At the deepest level, the subconscious is not separate from the self, the totality of who you are, both known and unknown. Your conscious ego is like a small vessel floating on this ocean. When it aligns with the currents of the deeper self, life flows with meaning and synchronicity. When it resists, it meets chaos. The goal is not to control the subconscious, but to cooperate with it, to live in harmony between awareness and instinct, reason and intuition, day and night. Ask yourself, am I listening to the subtle guidance of my deeper self, or only to the noise of my conscious will? Learning to trust that inner current is the mark of maturity. Part 12, practical ways to engage the subconscious. Observation. Watch your thoughts, emotions, and impulses without judgment. Each one reveals something from below. Imagination. Visualize outcomes and qualities you wish to embody. Let them sink deeply into feeling. Dream work. Record and reflect upon your dreams. They are the bridge between conscious and subconscious. Symbolic thinking. Notice recurring numbers, animals, or images in daily life. The subconscious often speaks through coincidence. Silence and reflection. The subconscious reveals itself in stillness, not in noise. As you practice, you will notice synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that confirm you are in alignment with the deeper flow of life. Part 13, the power and the responsibility. The subconscious is immensely powerful, but also neutral. It brings forth whatever you impress upon it. Therefore, your responsibility is great. Feed it with truth, not illusion, with love, not fear. If you plant weeds, you will harvest confusion. If you plant light, you will harvest peace. Ask yourself daily, what seeds am I planting in my mind? Do they reflect the life I wish to live? The subconscious obeys the master it recognizes, emotion. Let your emotions serve your highest values, and they will reshape your inner world. Part 14, from subconscious to superconscious. There comes a point when the conscious and subconscious mind no longer stand opposed, but unite in harmony. At that moment, a higher level of awareness awakens, what mystics call illumination, and I call the realization of the self. Then the individual no longer lives against life, but with it. Decisions arise effortlessly. Intuition and reason cooperate. Inner and outer events align meaningfully. This is the flowering of human potential, when the power of the subconscious becomes the servant of consciousness, and both serve the self. Part 15, closing reflections. The subconscious mind is not a stranger. It is your oldest friend, your hidden twin. It watches you even as you sleep. It breathes you, beats your heart, dreams your dreams. To ignore it is to live half a life. To know it is to become whole. So as we end this reflection, consider, what messages might your subconscious be sending you right now? What dreams, impulses, or coincidences are asking for your attention? And how might your life change if you began to listen? The power of the subconscious mind is not to be conquered, but to be understood. And in understanding it, you discover that the deepest part of you is not your enemy, but your greatest ally on the path toward wholeness. Thank you for listening and for daring to look within.